Hello, good morning. So today we're here with another video talking about interviews and job application process. It's snowing. I don't think you can see that it's still snowing, but it is still snowing. Okay, we are back to the video. So I'm gonna divide this video in three parts. In the first part, I'm gonna talk about the interview process and the work experience at Tiffany Co. And the second part is gonna talk about my job application process for LV. And on the last part of this video, I want to share with you guys some of the tips or advices for applying for the luxury retail industry. Okay, let's get started. This is so awkward. I'm sorry. I'm getting like so distracted by the bird and then by the landscape and by the snow and by a lot of things. But anyways, so I applied for a seasonal brand ambassador at Tiffany. If you don't know what seasonal means, it basically means that you just work for a short period of time, and it's usually from November to January. That's like the typical seasonal contract period. So the first thing is, of course, you just apply to the company's official website. You upload your resume, and if you have a cover letter, you can also include your cover letter. And then if you are shortlisted, they will contact you. And then in this case, I didn't receive any info from them, and a tip would be like directly emailing them, asking the managers or the hiring manager or like the store director, you know, like, oh, I just want to follow up, like how is my my job application. And that's what I did. I did my research and I found the company's the branch's email address, and then I emailed them asking, oh, you know, like, I would love to work as a seasonal brand ambassador. I would like to know if I am qualified for the next steps or something like that. The case is that I got accepted. The store director, she emailed me back asking if I was able to do a phone interview. If you are shortlisted, you're gonna receive a phone interview. Basically is just asking for your time schedule, asking a little bit about your past experiences. That's the only thing for phone interview. And then after the phone interview, if your availability matches what the company needs, then you're gonna get one more interview, which is the interview with the store director or store manager. So it's usually the phone interview, and then the interview with the hiring manager, and one more interview with the district manager. However, in my case, it was a little bit different because our branch was smaller. So I only had the phone interview, and then I had an interview with the store manager, and that was it. And I would say that one important thing about, you know, applying for jobs is, you know, just keeping in contact with the store managers or store directors or the hiring manager as well. Because after doing all the interviews, I didn't receive any like notification. They did email me about like whether I got accepted or not, and in that case I just emailed them again. I said, oh, you know, like I would love to know if I can like actually work for your company. Let me know what other information can I provide with you and things like that. So I would say it's very important to follow up. So for the second interviews, because I only had two interviews, I only had the phone interview and the interview with the store manager. So for the interview with the store manager, you have to go prepared. You need to know, you need to talk about yourself, you need to talk about your past experiences, and make sure that you actually know what you put on the resume, and then like be prepared for basic questions such as, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, tell me about an experience, tell me about a bad experience, and then how you turn it into a good experience, something like that. Those questions, you need to be prepared. By the way, I actually have a video where I talk about my interview process and then job application at Coach, and that was my first luxury retail job. So if you want to know or learn more about how can you turn a basic restaurant waitress job into like luxury retail, maybe you can check that video out. I would I would say that during the interview, make sure that you present yourself as someone who has strong interpersonal skills and highlight your communication, social skills. I think those are the things that are the most important. But yeah, I will talk more about those tips on the last part of this video. And then I applied to LV almost 2 weeks ago. I would say 2 weeks ago, and I just did all my interviews already, so I can talk about the interviews as well. For LV, it's definitely more complicated. I went through so many interviews already. Anyways, so after you upload your resume and cover letter, I think the headquarter will check your resume and your cover letter, and if you are shortlisted, they're gonna send you an invitation to do a video recorded interview. And that's not an interview that you do with someone, but it's literally just recording yourself. And I would say that that was the most difficult interview out of all the interviews I had with LV, or I mean, I would say out of all the interviews I've had. I'm gonna send you a link to your email, and then you have to click on the link, and then basically the interview is just, they would give you around like 10 to 20 seconds to read the question. And after you read the question, you would have around 1 to 2 minutes to record yourself and then say your answer. So I actually wrote the questions here, so I will share with you guys the interview questions. So the first one is, present yourself and provide a detailed description of your last 5 years of work experience. That is question number 1. Number 2, what's the difference between high-end and a casual retail? That is a question that tricked me, I guess, because I got so nervous and then I didn't know how to reply. But I guess if you plan to apply, you should think about your answer, and then and then don't be nervous, because if you get nervous, you oh, one more thing, guys. For this video recorded interview, you cannot re-record yourself. Like, you cannot start again. There's no start again. So once you click on the button that it starts recording, it starts recording. So in my case, for this question, I literally stopped for like 20 seconds trying to like figure out what can I do. But then at the end, like, I called myself and then I said my answer again. So you have to be calm down and then like get prepared for that video recorded interview. Okay, and then the third question is experience where you made a mistake at work. And then number 4 is, why do you want to work at LV? Number 5 is tell an experience where you could deal with prioritization and organization. So this question, it's more specific for your job position, because for LV I didn't apply for sales associate, I applied for operations. So one of the important qualities for an operations associate is be organized, being efficient, right? So this question, I think it's more for operations, but for sales it would be a question similar to, tell me an experience where you could sell one extra item or something like that. Okay, and then number 6, you have to provide your time availability, and the last one is provide extra comments. Not provide, but ask you if you have any extra comments on this. And I would suggest you to totally say something for the last question. You should definitely say something like, I don't know, like, because I did an error in question 2, right? Talking about the difference between high-end and casual retail. So for question number 7 about extra comments, I talked about how I was very nervous for this video recorded interview, and then like I talked more about my past experiences and how would I be a qualified candidate. Okay, so here are the 7 questions, and I think you should definitely get prepared for these 7 questions. I gave you the 7 questions already, right? So there is no excuse to not get prepared for that video recorded interview. So after the video recorded interview, if you are shortlisted again, then you would have a invitation from, not from the headquarter anymore, because the headquarter checks your answer, reviews your video recorded interview, and then the candidates that they think suits the position, they will send those videos or like the application to your branch manager, store manager, or whatever. So if you're shortlisted, in this case, for my case, the team lead, I think it's called team lead, he sent me an email inviting me to do a Zoom interview with him because of COVID, of course. So for your first interview with an actual person, we'll ask you questions like, why did you change your job? Why do you think you are a great fit? What are your greatest weaknesses, strengths? Why do you choose to work at LV? Tell me more about your past experiences. Those are the questions that they will ask you for your first interview with the team lead. And afterwards, if you are shortlisted again, the store manager will send you an email. So in this case, the store manager sent me an email asking me to do a second interview, and that's with my district manager, and that would be the operations manager. It didn't take long because I had my interview with the team lead in the morning, and at night the store manager sent me an email asking me for one more in-person interview with the store manager and one employee or assistant or something. Actually don't know what she is, but anyways, I had a second interview with them. The interview there, it was more focused on like operations. So if you want to apply for sales and if you're shortlisted, you might get an interview with the sales manager, and they're gonna ask you questions that are more related to sales, such as how can you sell me this, or tell me a time where you handled a difficult customer or something. So for the last interview, it is more focused, more narrowed. So yeah, that is basically my experience, my job application experience for LV. Part of this video, and I'm gonna keep it very, very short. It's about tips on resume and cover letter. I would say that for your resume, try to focus on your past experiences where you had customer service experience, or interpersonal skills experience with that. Something that has to do with dealing with people. I think they really value that. Also, for your cover letter, try to highlight your experiences, your past experiences. For instance, if you've never worked at a luxury retail, you can also talk about how you had a lot of experience with customer service, or maybe you can talk about your personality, because they really care about, you know, being outgoing, knowing how to communicate with people. Those are the things that they value a lot. And also don't worry about your education, because they don't have a requirement in terms of like for education for those positions. For them, what matters is personality, like how well can you handle people, your customer service experience, your attitude towards work. That's what they value. So I guess that's very important. And one more thing, you should definitely do follow-ups, because if you do follow-ups, that shows your interest, right? In terms of like what you should wear for the interviews, you should definitely wear something black and formal, like formal and then something black. Wait, what am I saying? Anyways, just wear something black and then look presentable, you know, put on some makeup. And why do I say that you need to wear something black? Because all the employees wear that, okay? So try to look like one of them, okay? I would say that if you don't have anything from that company, don't wear it. For instance, if you don't own any Tiffany, don't wear a whatever necklace. Just don't wear anything. Just don't wear any jewelry. And for instance, if you're doing LV, if you don't have an LV, just don't wear a bag. I don't know, like don't wear a Gucci for an LV interview, you know. So yeah, those are the small like details that you have to really take care of, but those are important things as well to consider. So yeah, I think that's it for today's video. I think I talked a lot. Anyways, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'll answer your questions, and I'll see you on my next video. I hope that it helped.